Hey everyone, and welcome. It's Monday, and you know what day that is. It is TRJ Live. And today is episode 57, The Great White North Beyond the Finish Time. Okay, we are live. All right, so today is I'm going to be doing a race recap of the half marathon that I did yesterday. Actually, was the Great White North. So for everyone, it's Sherry from Trail Runners Journey, and we're doing a race recap. So yeah, so let's go into Great White North. It is in Stony Plain, Alberta, and it was meant for triathlon. So how the triathlon sets up. It is you're racing Hubble's Lake, you have your biking to Stony Plain, and then you have the run in Stony Plain. Now, Great White North has new owners. They're Platinum Racing, a company called Platinum Racing. And this year was also a new course for the running as well. So it was kind of a lot of newness. And for the triathlon people out there, it's non-sanctioned. So in the triathlon, now forgive me, I'm not a triathlete, so I don't know some of the stuff here. Is you had the half, you also had, I'm going to say, the standard, for lack of better definitions. You guys know what it means. I don't. There was also the team, and I noticed there was also try a try. Now there's also the aquathon and the duathlon. So those events are all there. But what they did this year, and something that I really liked, is they added in running. And I don't mean running as part of the triathlon or duathlon. What I mean is they added in running events. So there was the 5K, the 10K, and the half marathon. And I very much like it. I very much liked it. I like the fact that they added in the running. And what was really neat, what they did with the running, is the running events, and I'm talking about running only the half marathon, 10K, and 5K. We all started at 8:30 in the morning. So we started at the same time as the triathletes did up in Hubble's Lake. So that got basically pretty much all of us off the course by the time the triathletes got there. So that was amazing. And I actually do give that a 2 thumbs up for the event, for doing it that way. So what does the running course? It is mostly paved trail in Stony Plain. It's a different format. Actually, it is. It's not, there's 2 loops, I should say. There's, go around this thing twice, but it's not a circle. There's out and back and another out and back, and then there's another turnaround, out and back turnaround. So there's some out and backs, but mainly not, majority of it is on paved trail. There's also a gravel road that you run on, and it's a back road. So they actually took care and did it in the least amount of traffic that they could. And there are course marshals along to help you across the road. Now, I did notice there was some rudeness with the drivers. And I would say, if I had to give any suggestion, is have more signage so these people know that there's a race going on. Also, before race crossing, so people know that there's a race crossing, because there was a little bit of gitchiness and a little rudeness from the drivers to the runners. So that's the only thing I'd say. Now, as far as the course itself, it's pretty flat. It's a flat and fast course. It really is. The only time you slow down is when you turn around. 8 stations were put very nicely on course. There was 2 aid stations, like I'm always saying, on course. They were in the course. The 1 aid station was at home, and they were nicely stocked. They had the Coke, they had the ginger ale. They also had an electrolyte I've never seen before, and I tried it out. It was from F2C. A company from Maple Ridge, BC. And they also had an electrolyte I've never seen before, or not electrolyte, but a gel I've never seen before. So I tried that out, and I'm going to tell you about it as well, too. Now, as for the course, I can't complain about it. I really can't. It was flat and fast. Now, there were, a little bit of uphill type thing, but if you're used to running on trails and you're used to running on hills, this is flat, this is fast. And it was quite good. Would I run this race again? Absolutely. I really liked the vibe of the event. I liked the fact that the runners, we went early, and there was hamburgers at the end, which was pretty good. So of course I'm going to go over the swag right now. So everyone, okay, what kind of t-shirt do you get? Well, this is a t-shirt from this year. This is a t-shirt, Great White North. That kind of looks boring, actually, but hey, man, you got an owl on your back. Absolutely. So t-shirt's nice. Now the bib, I really like the bib. Like, hey, man, it's worth it just to get the bib alone. Like, this bib is really great. I like the bib. It's a characteristic bib, and I actually quite like it. Now the metal. This is not your standard metal. This is a wooden metal. Of course, you got your ribbon that goes at the back, your necklace type thing. But this is what it is, and it's a nice wooden metal. It's I think it's gorgeous. I really like it. And yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with this. And coming into the finish line, I did have. I was looking, doing the old video thing with the finish line in the background. A nice lady came up to me and she goes, "No, go right there. I'll take your picture." So that was pretty sweet. People are nice. Yeah, and I like the vibe. I've ran this race before with another company, and I gotta say, I like this company much better. So there you go. I like this company much better. Now, what they had on course was electrolyte by the name of F2C. And the electrolyte name is called GlycoDurance. Now, this electrolyte is a little different. It's not sweetened with sugar. It is carbohydrate based. So it has potato and rice in it as the carbohydrate. And I decided I was going to give it a try. Now, it didn't have a strong taste to it. So if you're looking for a stronger taste, didn't have it. But if you like something a little that doesn't have the potent taste, this might be one to try for you. Now, if you don't like the sugar in there, you actually might like this one. Now, I would love to give this another try based on the concentration I mix up for me. And because on a race day, you may or may not have the concentration that's good for you. So this is one I would say, give it a try. Give it a try to see how you react with it if you're not wild about the sugar-based electrolytes. Personally, my personal electrolyte that I love to use is Scratch. And I like to mix it with a scoop of aminos. And for me, that works. Would I give this a try? Absolutely. So that was the electrolyte on course. And so what did I eat during the race? Well, before the race, I had a meal bar. I can't remember. What did I eat before the race? I can't even remember. I know I had my latte. I know I had that. But during the race, I actually calculated out to 200 calories an hour, and I have my watch set on every half an hour. So I was actually sticking to that. I found I needed to stick to that. And what did I eat during the race? Well, I ate a Justin's nut butter. That's good for 230 calories. I had a Hammer gel. And by the way, Hammer versus Goo. Hammer's made with maltodextrin, so it's not as sweet. And I've done a lot of Goo gels, and I'm kind of looking, what? I like Hammer better. I really do. And the flavor I had was vanilla. So I had that. What did I have? Oh, I had an endurance tap, maple syrup. I had a selection. And a lot of ways I ran this race. I had no expectations, and I wanted to see what would work, what didn't work. And so I ran endurance tap. I also gave this one a try, Sun River Honey. And what the Sun River Honey packets are about is honey that is flavored. This one was the orange cream, and I was about the flavor. Now, I've had cinnamon bun. I like that one, but I like the key lime. The key lime honey, that was actually really good. Would I run a whole race on honey? No. I need the variation. That's my stomach. I need the variation. It's also my taste buds. I need the variation as well too. So this is one I had. And I also tried out the energy gel, the NeverSecond C30 energy gel. I'm going to tell you about it in a minute. I tried that one out. And of course, never underestimate the package of fruit stations. Never estimate the power of these guys. They're great to have. Skittles are another thing that I like to have. It's something different, something that's not technical. And damn it, it's something that's fun. So sour Skittles is something I like to have. I love the fruit stations. They taste great. I really like to have these, and that's also what I ate on course. So let's talk about the C30 energy gel. Now, these are from the US. Now, I'm on the website and they say they do not ship to Canada. So there's going to be a little bit of scoping around to see who does carry these in Canada. And a hint is to look at your triathlon stores. Look at your triathlon stores online for these guys. Now, if you look at the energy gel, you went, that's a big package. Yeah, compared to a hammer or the regular gel, yeah, these are bigger. These are bigger, and they are a 2-to-1 glucose to fructose carbohydrate blend. So what they say is 30 grams of carbohydrate per gel, and that's basically standard. And it's also easy on the stomach, and it basically 2-to-1 maltodextrose to dextrin to fructose ratio. The flavor I had was passion fruit. Personally, I would take another flavor. I found a little bit too sweet, but as far as these actually were pretty good. They were pretty good, and they're worth the investigation. Especially if you're sensitive to gels and you get bleh really quickly, give these a try. They're formulated. They're much easier on the stomach. And I had one. I have no complaints. I have no complaints from it whatsoever. And it definitely would be something to add in. Now, personally, I like a mix of things. I am not one to eat the same thing over and over and over again in the race. Ugh. And considering that I am back of the pack, yeah, I need a variety because it's just it's yuck. Yuck. So let's go so that's what I ate on course. So yeah, I had a variety. My caloric load was in a lot of ways pretty similar to what I calculated out. Now, how did I run this race? Let's go look at it this way. Was I trained for this half marathon? No, not even close. This year has been a lot of walking, a lot of more hiking, a lot of building my base, and a lot of recovering from menopause. And I'll be very honest when I say menopause, you can go through the perimenopause and go through the menopause. And after those symptoms hormones have figured themselves out. After the symptoms, you're kicked through the old Stargate portal. And one day you wake up and go, okay, now what? Because the body feels different. It honestly does. It feels totally different. And it's kind of like, okay, now where do I go from here? And there's an illusion out there that you're not going to be the same after menopause. That is true. The illusion is that you're not going to be as strong or as fast or efficient after menopause. That can be false. And so now it's working with my body. How do I feel? How do I work with the body I have now? So I've been doing a lot of hiking, a lot of walking. So when it came time when I signed up for the race, and then the time frame from then to now, there'd been stuff that happened. And I looked at this and went, okay. I'm looking going, well, let's see. And I just basically checked in with myself. Do I keep the half marathon? Yes, I do. And I walked the course with a friend of mine the day before. So we did 10K walking on the course. And I surprised myself during that walk. And it was like, this is going a lot more efficient than what I had planned. So before the race the next day, I woke up in the morning. And by the way, I had a fabulous sleep the night before the race, says no runner ever, me included. So when I woke up, it's like, okay, this is going to be what it is. It really is. It's going to be what it is. I had no expectations except to finish. And the comforting thought, honestly, was I'm on the course at 8:30. The course closes at 3:30. I got lots of time. I got lots of time because nobody's kicking me off that course until 3:30. So it was like, just see what happens. So that's how I prepared. It was a nice cool day, which I liked. There was a little bit of rain, which I also like. It wasn't It wasn't really windy. And now considering the fact that I was in town, I wasn't on a bike. The guys on the bike were saying differently, but the thing is I was in town. And I just went, you know what? It's going to be what it is. So we started off, and I was about a kilometer and a half in, and I did a little video and said, you know what? I'm going to power walk this thing. I'm going to see what my walking pace is all about. Well, about 2K in, that's not what happened. All of a sudden, I got into my all-day pace, and I've got an all-day pace. And by the way, I run according to feel, 100%. I run 100% according to feel, and in conversation pace, I check and see how my breathing and my conversation is. And the truth is, I got into my all-day, I'm going to say trotting pace versus running, because I'm not in that nice loping gait. I'm a little bit slower. I'm like, if you look at the Budweiser Clydesdales and how they're trotting along, that's me. That's how I move. And it ended up being, I got into that pace and I stayed there. I stayed there for the whole race. I couldn't walk if I tried, other than a few steps. I couldn't walk if I tried. And so when I looked at the whole thing and just considered, how am I doing? Like, what's happening here? I surprised myself. I honestly did. I honestly surprised myself. Now, I crossed the finish line and totally stoked that I did, happy as a clam that I did. Now, if I looked at my time versus the, I'm going to say the rest of the field, yeah, I came in at 3 hours and 19 minutes. And to some of you, that you might think, oh God, you had a horrible race. No, I didn't. See, the thing is, when we cross the finish line, we look at our finish time and we judge our race based on the finish line. There's a lot more to the story. Lots more to the story. And that's what I look at, is what was during that race. What was during that race? What did that tell me? If I look at the length of time it took me to do that race, I was out there for 3 hours and 19 minutes. Now, look at it this way. 3 hours and 19 minutes of being in what I call performance. Okay. There's a lot happening hormonally going on. There's a lot happening, like, even mentally. And yeah. So my effort was a lot longer than the person who won. Now, the fellow who won, it was a nice young fellow type thing. And oh, by the way, I hear questions of going, oh, geez, now, is it okay if I take a walk break if I'm running a race? This guy did. And if the leader of the race, who is winning by a long shot, stops to take a walking break, yeah, it's okay if you do. In fact, I look at it this way. If you're running into where you're heavily breathing, your heart's going to blow out of your chest, if you don't stop and take a walking break, that's just about as dumb as saying you have to wait to pee when you cross the finish line and you're 5K out. Just saying. So anyway, I look at, if I looked at time to start to time to finish, I had a hell of an adventure out there. But I look at the data. I look at what was happening. What was happening? I was consistent as hell. Absolutely. I was consistent. Bang, 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 bang in my pacing. What does that mean for me? Someone who does the ultras? That is hellish good. That I can hold that consistent pacing for that long. And I was consistent. Consistent. There's not much variation. There's not much variation in my pacing. So that for me is hell yeah. Now, what was my fueling like? My fueling was on point. It was on spot on. And when I looked at my watch at the end, it said 100% effort. So it was great. So I was lined right up to where I should be. Now, here's the thing is, my last kilometer coming in was my fastest. I had negative splits. So that also means I didn't go out too fast. So looking at all the data from one point to the end, how consistent is that data? How did my heart rate match my efforts? So look at the story. Look at the story that your stats are telling you versus just looking at the time and go, oh man, like you could say, yeah, you were slow out there. Well, considering I wasn't trained for it. But look behind the curtain and see what was really there. Am I proud of the race I did? I sure am. I'm happy as a clam about the race and the consistency. I am stoked about that because that says I didn't go anywhere from where I left off. And I've got a good base to build on. So I'm really happy about that. Now, after the race, yeah, it was eat all the salty food. Oh, you betcha. You betcha. Eat all the salty food. And you know what I had? I had Ruffles chips with hummus on top, Genoa salami, and sauerkraut. If any of you going, ooh, try it. Try it. It was eat all the salty food. Yeah, and it was eat all the food. Dangerous places between me and a food source, and that sure was yesterday. And a little bit today. Yes, absolutely. And one of the things I did is I got into an Epsom salt bath last night. I got into the jet tub, put the jets on, Epsom salt bath, and stayed there. Am I questioning my choices today? Yeah, especially when it comes to stairs. I'm wondering why we didn't put in the elevator into our house when we built it, and why aren't these stairs escalators? So yeah, I am questioning that. Now, what about emotionally? Well, I am a more, I wouldn't say fragile. I'm a little more raw today. Now, think about it. Going through that and pushing through that effort, the cortisol changes, your adrenaline changes, your epinephrine. So there's hormonal things going up and down the left and right. So the day after an effort like that, yeah, there's going to be an emotional roller coaster for sure. And my sleep, I actually do my sleep training. I do my sleep tracking, and I had mostly deep sleep last night. It was healing. There was a lot of healing going on. So, yeah, am I hungry? Am I a little bit on the raw side emotionally? Was my sleep off last night? Am I tired? Are my quads sore? All the right things. So, would I run this race again? Absolutely. Am I going to run another race? Yep. But what's going to happen in the meantime? I'm going to be building my base. I'm going to be building my base, making sure it is strong and solid. And that's going to include a lot of walking. And what I really got, because I was able to run this race like I did and how I was training, there was a gap between recovery and effort. I wasn't doing everything to go faster. And that's a whole key point that maybe some of you need to hear, is that there needs to be that very much a difference, that a recovery, you need to recover. And that's what I spent a lot of my time doing. So yeah, would I run this race again? I highly recommend it. I really do. I recommend it. It's a great vibe, great community. There was a couple of the other people in the course that I knew, and it was great seeing them on course at the start line, also on course. It's a great vibe, and it's really special with one of your friends yells out from her bike and waves. Like, that's pretty cool. This is a great race. I highly recommend, if you have a chance to do this race, for sure. And when you look at the next race that you run, don't just look at your run time and go and make a judgment based on that. Look at the journey. What did you do well? What could be improved on? And when you've got the whole picture, they always say, you know what, get the rest of the story, get the whole picture. Look at the whole picture and see what that whole picture is. Because honestly, that finish line, that time, that's a little microsecond. What else happened during the race that actually was pretty cool? I shot video during that race. I was happy as a clam. Everything went right. Was I cramping? Nope. Except for my one quad, it was starting to say, excuse me, I'm getting a little tired here. And funny enough, it wouldn't let me slow down. So yeah. So what race have you got coming up? Let me know. What race have you got coming up, and what makes you excited about this race? Why are you looking forward to it? Because honestly, if you're not emotionally hooked into a race you're going into, why are you going into it? So I know there's a Sinister 7 coming up pretty quickly here. If anybody who's in Sinister, drop it in the comments. I want to know. I want to cheer you guys on. I really do. So there you have it. there you have it. There's your Monday TRJ Live for you. And so, anyhow, for the rest of the week, get out there, get some trail, get some time outside, have fun. And you know what? You run for you. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing week. And we'll see you next week.